So, and then start the practicum. So I think I have already explained the, this is the second lecture. I explained the module and practicum through demonstration lessons. You need to demonstrate your lessons first, and we will discuss the demonstrations and then go to the real practicum. So I think compared to the last batch, I think we can do this smoothly, but you need to contribute. I don't know the word contribute is fit for the objective to obtain this qualification. Practicum is very important. You need to discuss with your institution and ask them to cooperate for your practicum. Maybe sometimes I ask you to open the class to the audience like other participants. So I think I have already explained this process. So I think after 1 month's time, the third lecture, I thought I should start from the previous slide. This is the flow chart of the practicum. Can you see the screen?
Yes, sir.
The planning, demonstration, teaching to the relevant target group, submission of the lesson plan, and the reflective journal. So today I am starting the planning section, and then maybe next time you can demonstrate you can explain your lesson plan with the learning objectives, and we can start the demonstration to the group. I think last time, even though we had a lot of problems, I was able to invite them to do the classes, even the COVID period. I visited one school to observe one student. Likewise, some people did using Teams. We all connected to the class and had a discussion. Most of the participants have sent their observation sheets to the LMS. Likewise, we were able to conduct the practicum. So this year, I think we need to go while adhering to this plan. Peer observation, like now, you may remember that we discussed about this lesson study model. So peer observation and the stakeholder observation is very important in terms of the professional development. So in this particular culture is not in the Sri Lankan school. So people are thinking teacher training is a kind of a hierarchical process, like the observers are higher than the teachers, and they all the time they guide the teachers from the top. You should do this and that, so I think when I started the discussion on lesson planning, so in the concept of lesson study model, teacher is the active so teacher plays kind of a very vital role in the teaching learning process. So not the observers, not the supervisors. In here, we are thinking supervisor is the best in terms of general education. ISS are the prominent people. Directors are the prominent people to guide teachers. But you can recall the video clip. The teacher and the students are the main focus in terms of Japanese lesson study model. So in this course, I would open up the class, the live class to the audience, and we'll get the comments from the audience, the participants, that is you. And then my comments are there. Unfortunately, we don't have other resource people to observe you. So so we are trying to implement this very kind of democratic way, like so avoiding this hierarchical process. So that is the plan, and so we have discussed this model. We are not going to implement the real model to this practicum, but somewhat relevant actually. Now, peer observation is quite relevant to this model. I think I have. Let me see the mode, the Google Classroom, that whether I have up. I think I have uploaded the material. Now, this is the situation of the Google Classroom classwork. I think you can see this new screen now. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
So this is the reading material. Yeah. So I think we have discussed this quite back. So we need to you need to recall the memory. So I have created two questions based on this reading material, and you can, when you have time, you can watch the video again. Even last time we discussed about the characteristics of this video clip. So please have written written document on this, because this is very important. So go back to the slides. So I think you can see the slides now. So please answer these questions very briefly. What is LSM, lesson study model? Describe briefly about the lesson study cycle through the diagram. The diagram is there with you. This is the diagram. So we can't very detailed manner description is impossible, because you watched only the video clip. You don't know about the real background information of these steps. But for example, the setting goals is kind of you can see now the teachers have the lesson planning. We are also starting that. So setting goals, but in terms of general education, already the general education teachers have their syllabuses. Even the other module we discussed last time about their own lesson plans and mapping things. Like planning is very important. You can recall that how Japanese teacher plan with the blackboard plan. Like, So we need lot of resources to lesson planning. Even in higher education, I started the discussion about this SLQF. So especially vocational people, I saw that one or two university people also there, but they are not visible nowadays. So, but if the higher education people are there, they have to go through based on the 12 learning categories of learning outcomes. So please try to describe very briefly, thinking about guessing about the video clip and the steps of the lesson study module. Actually, you can get some information from the reading material as well. So that is the second question. The third one is, what are the special characteristics that could be discussed compared to the Sri Lankan teaching learning process? So this is your own reflection. Reflections means like your comments on this practice, LSM in Japan. Please, I think you need to watch the video again and read the reading material and answer the questions. Please submit this to the, I think even you can do it. I will ask. So as Nishant pointed out, you are struggling to connect to the LMS. I will ask Anuradhi to update it. Otherwise, even you can send me to the, emailing is also quite practical.
So now LMS is up, sir. I don't know, everyone is able to log in, but I can log into the LMS now.
Okay, then we need to create. We'll see. You don't have the practicum one. No? Let's see how. Let me check quickly. No, they changed the format. Like the new format is there now.
So I can see there are 29 students are already enrolled for this.
2021 is there, but in your there is a page for teaching practicum through IT adoption on for the previous batch. I think. Can you see the space for this for your module?
Yes, sir. That is there.
Really?
It is
Yeah.
there. We can see one subject.
Which one? The 2021?
No, sir.
2022, sir, we are engaged. So if you click on this ID 575, that is the ID I put on the chat, sir. I think you can reach from the our module by clicking this chat link.
No, I don't. Wait. A username. I don't think password.
This is the
No, it's okay. I will. We will waste our time. Okay, I can't log into this year one because maybe the teachers have to come another way. Like this is for students, maybe. I will discuss with Anuradhi. Anyway, please work on the write-up, thinking about by next week. Then I will ask Anuradhi to create the or even create kind of giving access to me, including me, so then I can see your submission. So it is good that submission to the LMS. So this is just only 1 or 2 pages write up. So do you have any clarifications on this write up? Okay, then we can move to the today's session. So today we are going to discuss what is outcome based education, OBE. We call this OBE, and the importance of lesson planning. So this is quite relevant to the both people, from general education and even from higher education. Can I again ask you about your how many people today from higher education and Indica from general or higher?
I'm working as software engineer. For now, I'm not involving any teaching things. So
Okay, so then what is your preferable uh, stage, general or higher education?
higher education.
So then you need to think about, when I am talking this session, please think about higher education a point of view all the time, not the general education. So were you there at the last session on the other module?
Yes, sir. I was there.
With the Sri Lanka qualification framework. Yeah.
Yeah, yes.
You should go through so very easy. Nowadays, we have very friendly UGC website. All are there now. You can do good lesson planning from number of, even we uploaded proposed teaching learning strategies based on different fields like sciences, management, humanities and social sciences. Like Ishar Mihirang, you are from which?
I'm from general education.
Okay. Janaka Tennakon?
So I'm from Vocational Training Authority.
Okay, then you need to think about SLQF, and then please think about a proper place to be practiced. Even
Okay, sir.
though you are in the authority, so maybe please don't use your authority. But as a student, you need to think about a place from your vocational institutes to practice.
Okay, sir.
Kirti,
So I have general education.
Nisha, Hansika, Moho, Madhushani,
I'm also from general education.
Mohammed,
General education, sir.
Hansika Pere,
General education, sir.
Nishant,
Vocational, sir.
Mayuri,
General education.
Sandamali,
Higher education.
which institute?
It's Coventry University. I'm working in two universities. One is Turkey University, the other one is Coventry. Turkey is Metro.
Sorry. Can you repeat? Sorry.
I'm working in a higher education, Coventry University, Australia. Connected to that.
I can't, it is not clear. What is the name of the university?
Coventry University, Australia, sir.
That is franchising program. You are in
It's a Slit and NIBM both are doing Coventry and Turkey University also I'm working.
You are doing visiting lectures there.
Lecturing, yes, I did. And not visiting, lecturing, yes, I'm doing.
So you are permanent lecturer from those universities or what?
Turkey University, permanent.
Okay. Okay. Turkey University means you are in Sri Lanka, no? Now?
Yeah.
So are there any franchise?
I think in Sri Lanka, Metropolitan is doing that. Other one also Slit doing that.
So then you are attached to the SLIC, no? As a lecturer or visiting lecturer, I don't know. Oh, anyway, I can't understand clearly. But anyway, you are. Please try to think about the field of higher education. Deepan,
Okay.
you are from? You are from which field? General or higher education?
Sir, I am in vocational education, sir.
Okay. Utpala?
General education, sir.
Okay. Now we have three groups: higher education, general education. I think majority is from general education. We have vocational people as well. They can adhere to the SLQF, and then higher education definitely completely the SLQF. And I don't know this franchise programs. They normally those foreign universities have their own modules and things. Then you have to adhere to that particular objectives like. Okay, now I will try to proceed thinking about these three various groups. So, as whole, like the outcome-based education is a common topic. All these three categories, even general education, higher education, vocational education, you need to understand why we are very concerned about this learning outcomes, because intended learning outcomes are very relevant to this outcome-based education. Later I will discuss on this. And why the student-centered learning. So all the time people are talking, even though they don't know how to do this. My goodness, all the time they are talking about student-centered learning. So we will discuss it. The importance of lesson plan. You may think why lesson planning is important. Like, linking with the now, without lesson planning, I don't know, we can do this job like, people are doing, but I don't think we can do, I don't know, with my expertise on this teaching learning, I don't know, uh, maybe people can argue even you can teach without planning, but if I'm not asking people to have lesson plans every time, but at the stage of early career, beginning teachers and to getting kind of teacher qualifications, this lesson planning is a must. And the practicum is also a must. Even we have everywhere now, postgraduate diplomas, masters, we incorporated practicum, PGD is a must, and even university academics, we have staff development programs. I don't know about the vocational people, like we need a practicum before teaching, before enter the classroom, anywhere, even higher education, primary and secondary. So when we design learning outcomes, we need to get the proper understanding about the taxonomy. Now, the earlier taxonomy was Bloom's taxonomy. Now we are working based on the revised Bloom's taxonomy. We call this RBT. So then I think at the end of the session today, I would be able to give you this exercise, how to write ILOs in line with the RBT. This is maybe not very new for general education people, even sometimes higher education, I don't know. I need proper learning outcomes when you practice your teaching. So that's why I'll try my best to give you the skill here. This is a skill. I think I can do this. I will give you the competency, how to write ILOs in line with the RBT. And you need to, once you design your ILOs, you need to map the teaching learning activities with your intended learning outcomes in the lesson plan. So this is the plan. Let me start like what is teaching. I think you all know about teaching, so rather giving something from my side. If I ask you what is teaching, you would say a lot of things, but rather having that student side comments, I thought thinking about the time. So let's focus on this John Biggs 1993 quote. Like I quote Biggs because he's the father of this outcome-based education concept. So he mentioned that learning takes place through the active behavior of the student. It is what she does that he learns, not what the teacher does. So at the end of the day, like end of the teaching learning process, if the participants, if the learners, we can observe kind of changes in terms of their behavior, then teaching means teaching learning is live. Like we had something, like, otherwise, if we can't see the behavioral changes, even not the changes, like active behavior of the students. They are asking questions, they are writing something, so they obtain the skill and respond correctly. So likewise, that type of active behavior is there, teaching is there. Like, yeah, that's the struggle that we are facing through this online teaching learning. We can't see you. So that's even the visiting lecturers that I recommended all are saying that whether you are there, even we have a lot of people nowadays, we have only 13, 14 people. Maybe at the last stage when I ask you to submit something, a lot of people would submit the assignment. So that's the reality of this teaching learning process. So we need kind of, now face to face is not the must. There are, as we are practicing breakout room sessions now, I can understand you gradually, like who you are, like what are the interest from you. Even we didn't see each other. So that's the effectiveness of this online teaching learning. So anyway, we need to have kind of see the behavior, observe the behavior. Even we can see it through online. So learning is like that. Learning is all the time we need to give the teaching learning activities thinking about their active behavioral changes, like active behavior. So rather now, as this cartoon says, I expect you all to be independent, innovative, critical thinkers who will do exactly as I say. Like, not necessary to explain this quote, like, that is not teaching. Okay, so I think, so when it comes to the how to write learning objectives, I think we can see this, whether if you're all the time talking about how to write learning outcomes, that is meaningless. That's my inability to do this. So if I can see people, participants are writing learning outcomes properly, then I can observe kind of active behavior. Like, so that's the teaching learning process. That's why we are thinking about this student-centered learning, learner-centered teaching, like, interactions are important, content should be relevant, environment is very important, assessment is also vital, instructional strategies, engagement, all are very, interconnected. Like, without even one aspect, we won't be able to practice student-centered learning. Environment is very important, interactions are very important. So, for example, I wanted to start the discussion while having a kind of understanding about the audience. So that's why I ask you again whether we have most of the people are from general, or then I can do my lecture thinking about these three groups, without having knowledge about the audience, the learner, we won't be able to practice student-centered learning. That is the mistake our instructors or lecturers are. Even myself, sometimes I may forget this type of aspects, but all the time we need to think about the interconnectedness about these aspects. Content is very important. We need to design the content up to the standard, like up to the level, whether it is fit for the purpose. Like, otherwise, it won't be a quality one. The fit for the purpose is the definition for quality. If you can't understand anything, how to write learning outcomes through my slides, So this is content is a problem. If I am not asking you whether you are okay, whether we will have a change like through breakout rooms, we don't have interruptions, so it is not student-centered learning. You know, yes. Okay, I think you all know about these jargons. The outcome-based education, actually SLQF, Sri Lanka Qualification Framework, this is now relevant even to general education. Very soon, I think this new policy document will be handed over to the president, and then NEC will be able to publicize the document. The Spady 1993 pointed out that clearly focusing and organizing everything in an educational system around what is essential for all students to be able to successfully at the end of their learning experience. So that's why we need to have learning outcomes. You know, thinking about all students, we need to have learning outcomes for the day. Otherwise, we can't see any outcome of the teaching learning, right? You know, yeah. All the time we are thinking an end product or result. So at the end of the day, this is the second batch. So we need to have qualified 2 years master's people, education and IT. So that's the outcome, the end product. Thinking about the end product, we are carefully selecting learning outcomes. Yeah, even today's learning outcomes are designed thinking about the qualification, your qualification after 2 years' time. You know, if you ask, you may be a trainer, future trainer for teachers. If you don't know how to write learning outcomes, or if you don't know how to teach them how to write the learning outcomes, this qualification would be questionable, you know. So that's why we are thinking about the outcome. So completely forget about the outcome. Whatever we can have future, that is up to them. We don't care about the future outcome, we just teach my module. Yeah, that is not the outcome-based education. You know, people have kind of criticism even why we need to think about all the time outcomes, right? So if you think the outcomes all the time, we miss the reality, like the classroom. No, don't misunderstand. To have a good kind of live classroom, even the end product and the now after the 2 hours time outcome, we should take care of, like, yeah, that is outcome based education. In terms of higher education, every universities, and I don't know whether vocational institutions have their graduate profiles. What are the vision mission statements of the Univotech like? And the Univotech, I think I trained a lot of people from Univotech at the University of Sri Jayawardenepura Staff Development Center. I asked them to design their graduate profiles. So we need to have profiles for graduates. Otherwise, we don't have any overall culminating objectives. Culminating objectives, like in Sinhalese, we use, sorry for the other languages people, I think this is even Tamil people, they can understand this is came from Sanskrit. The real translation for culminating is Kuta Praptiya. So, end product. What would be the end product of the University of Kalaniya Master's Program? University of Peradeniya. We have very clear graduate profile based on the University of Peradeniya history and the culture. So very recently we redesigned the graduate profile. Later I can show you. we design with illustration. Yeah. Then what would be the graduate profile like overall objective in terms of general education? So that is generic objectives of general education. What do you think in general education? What is the overall objectives of general education? Can you respond, especially from the general education people? What would be the overall objective of general education? This is written in the constitution as well, I think. So, yeah, we need to understand the overall objective first, I think. Yeah, this is very important. Yeah, generally we don't care about this. Like we are teaching ICT, we are teaching maths, we are teaching a lot of, English, but we don't know what is the main objective sometimes. Can you imagine, like, can you recall or rethink, like, indica from general education?
No, sir.
You are from, you are from, I know, anyway.
Yeah.
Who is the general education? Kirti, you are from general.
Yes, sir.
Sorry.
Yes, sir. I'm from general education.
Okay, what do you think about this overall objective in general education? Why we are doing this job?
We are trying to educate a student to suit to the higher education.
That is very specific. I am asking you, my goodness, really? This is dangerous, no? So then, how can we think about the other people? So now only 2%, no? We have only 10, 15 universities, no? Can we do this? The higher education.
No, sir, actually.
Yeah, three-wheelers are not higher education qualified people. They are good people, no? Rather thinking about now the last days, we can compare people very nicely. Who are the real, good people in this country? I think qualified people were unable to uh, survive even this situation. You can't say higher education is the best now. Bit dangerous nowadays. Even my Japanese friends ask, you are teaching at the higher education levels, what you are doing rubbish after 14 years education from Japan. What did you do in the nearly after my return was 1999? They asked me, what did you did after return from Japan? Thinking about other people's behavior the last few months, right? No, completely. I am normally I am not saying incorrect for the students' answers. Unfortunately, I have to say no for this answer. You should understand what is the general objective of the general education. We'll have a discussion. Yes, very good that we will have this. Another person from general education, can you contribute to the discussion? It's okay. Don't care about my responses with critical, but it's okay. Up to you. You have your own perspectives. Go ahead from other general education people.
So we are producing a good citizen with good knowledge and attitude and skill.
Yeah, we can't say about the attitude, like that is up to them. But in your explanation, one relevant section is there. This is not actually, I don't know, I surprised these general education people, what they are doing at the school levels. But didn't you heard about the general objective of this education? This is in the constitution. One hint was there from this Mohammed's response. Hansika Pereira from General Education.
Yes, sir.
What do you think?
We create skillful students to the future.
Oh, really? You are doing that?
I try to do this.
Yeah, that is, we can't. Now, do you think these 13 people would be real good people I can do? What is your subject?
ICT.
ICT. What experience? What is the experience like? Now, how many years that you?
8 years, sir.
8 years. General education, general objectives? No idea about general objective of education. You are teaching only ICT skillful people. So if they don't have ICT skills, how can they survive in the community? So they are not good people.
No, sir, it's not about the subjective skills.
Yeah. I am not asking subject skills. No, I will now show you general objectives of general education. We have national goals, basic competencies, subject specific objectives. You are saying subject specific objectives. Before that, we have basic competencies, Moolika Nipunata, and Jatika Podu Araman, national goals. I am asking, even before these three set of objectives, what would be the Sri Lankan constitution says we should do education for what? Still no any idea?
Sir, enable student to acquire skills.
No.
knowledge,
That is specific objectives. දෙයනේ. කොහොම කට්ටියක් හදන්න ගියොත් අපි ඉවරයිනේ. ස්කිල්ෆුල් අය විතරද ඕනේ අපිට. ස්කිල්ෆුල් අය හිටියට හොඳ නෑනේ ඒගොල්ලෝ සමහර වෙලාවට. Sorry, I am using Sinhalese. No, my motivation rate is quite high now. So even I want to explain you in Japanese, like, my goodness, go back to your footsteps, thinking about why we are doing this education. We all need skillful people. Before that, what we need? Good,
sir, good citizenship, sir.
Good citizen. My goodness. Don't forget about this. ICT is rubbish sometimes. To use ICT to teach ICT, we need good citizen. හොඳ මිනිහෙක් හදාගන්න එපා. ඒකනේ දැන් මේ බැරි වෙලා තියෙන්නේ. කොහෙද ඒගොල්ලෝ ඉන්නේ? So our education is a disaster. We are not cooperating. We are not very democratic. We all are sometimes extremists. Dangerous. We criticize people without any proper information. We can easily change our thoughts based on just WhatsApp messages. That's the reality of this country. People are asking what we are doing in education. The education people, including myself, have responsibility about this country's education. We didn't do a good job, unfortunately, thinking about examination-based system, rubbish knowledge. You can see how university uh, products behave. Don't misunderstand me. I am not a politician. I am trying to be a good citizen after 14 years of higher education in Japan. I did my general education only here. I did after my A levels, I got my all higher education qualification in Japan. I don't know, maybe that's the reason about my perspective.
Next.
So don't misunderstand.
Next time.
Even though they are masters, 2 years qualified people from California University, that is okay. Even with or without that qualification, first we need good citizens. We need these 14 people as a good citizen, right? First, what is the meaning of good citizens, right? So this is bit, you can think. Even I am a professor, like I have number of qualifications. If I am doing bad things for you, if I am all the time irresponsible, like, if I am bullying you all the time when I am teaching, so what is the meaning of my professorship? I know very well how to teach you, how to design learning outcomes. That is completely different. No? Think about this seriously. So we are good people. Yeah, we are knowledgeable in southern, SARC region. Be proud about this higher literacy rate. This is misunderstanding. Literacy is not the IEUA or Tamil alphabet literacy. Literacy is more than reading alphabets. We don't have real literacy, so it is good for us to even we can say something with proudness. No, it's okay. Yeah, we can say this. Actually, our people are very good. Like they have motivation to learn something. This is very good in this region. Like when you compare to the Indian context. So even Pakistan, Bhutan, they don't have this real motivation. In Sri Lanka, maybe because of this atmosphere, like culture. Anyway, the people are very like to learn something. That is good. Uh, so so we don't misunderstand. Again, back to the objectives in general education. We have national goals based on the good citizen. In Sinhalese, we call it Yahapat Puravasiyak Bihi Kirim. Please make a පොළුව ඇතුළට දාගන්නොත් හොඳයි මම හිතන්නේ. You need to have this broad objectives. So try to teach ICT even though they don't have ICT skills. That particular student has kind of collaborative skill. That is good. Yeah. So because, in my case, I am not very good maths student. I hate maths. Like in my school days, I did very, aesthetic subjects. I did dancing from primary to A levels. So I didn't care about the A level examination. I got the West qualification from dancing. Like so, I did like that. So without maths competency, I became a professor. Like yeah. So, but if maths competence is good for the life, but that is not a must, no. Even ICT, I am learning ICT while I am teaching. Actually, from the last batch, I got the skill to effectiveness of this breakout room discussions. Yeah. So after my qualification, I got the skills like ICT skills. Like before that, we need to have kind of generic objectives. Like, so if your friend is there side with you, that person should be a good one, no? Good citizen. Like good means we feel calm, like when those good people are around, not afraid, like the reliability is there everywhere, good people everywhere, we feel comfortable, like no any hierarchy, you know. Yeah, that is the meaning of good citizen. So to reach the good citizens, to nurture good citizens, we have identified 8 national goals in general education: basic competencies and subject specific objectives. So please think about this. We are teaching towards developing good citizens, but the skills should be there. That is your subject specific objectives. Oh, I took a lot of time to, yeah. So defining ILOs and knowledge. Now, I don't think we can go to the now 9:10. No. Anyway, okay. We'll complete the earlier part of this lecture. The defined ILOs. We have 2 categories of knowledge. One is declarative knowledge and functioning knowledge. What is the difference of these 2 categories of knowledge? Declarative knowledge is knowledge can be declared. Okay. The functional knowledge is knowledge to work to make it function. So, how can I explain? Now, when I have started the lecture, I will definitely give you the skill how to write learning outcomes. So even after the end of the sessions, still you're also repeating the knowledge. So when you write the learning outcomes, Bloom's taxonomy is very important. Nowadays, we have revised Bloom's taxonomy. We need to write the learning outcomes based on the revised Bloom's taxonomy. ILOs are very important in terms of teaching and learning. ILOs very important because outcome is very important. At the end of the teaching learning process, we need to see the behavioral changes of the students. That's why the ILOs are important. If you repeat again and again, even after the several sessions by me, this is declarative knowledge. In Sinhalese, the word is desabanda tiyana den. Ohe kiyawan. Just throwing out the jargons. ILOs, this and that. You should write the ILOs proper action verbs. The proper action verbs you can download from the list from the revised Bloom's taxonomy. Good learning outcomes are really create the student-centered learning. My goodness, repeating. This is we call declarative knowledge. Only for Desaban. But after the session, you can write the learning outcomes properly and you can apply the teaching learning strategies nicely in the classroom, then my lecture is converted to the functioning knowledge. Knowledge to work to make it function. This is the difference of the declarative knowledge and the functioning knowledge. Please try to balance this knowledge all the time. Now all Sri Lankans have to shut up their mouths. We are too much talking. So, we need to showcase our functioning knowledge. Yes, I got the qualification, I can teach ICT properly. Yeah, I got the 2 years master's qualification, I can do a research. So likewise, try to end this journey. I don't know whether we will be able to take you until that stage. Please think about this final target. Especially in this program, you need to get the knowledge to be functional. Otherwise, it is meaningless, So we are wasting our money. This is both people, general, higher. This would be that's why we need intended learning outcomes for disseminating knowledge and the skills. That combination should be there. Otherwise, your sessions are only for disaband, only for declaration. This may be not, this is really for higher education. We need to design the learning outcomes, thinking about the culminating learning outcomes, and we teach the learning outcomes towards culminating learning outcomes. You are teaching ICT, thinking about national goals. You are teaching at vocational level ICT, thinking about your Univotech objectives, Univotech graduate profile. You are teaching one subject, even a slate or something, thinking about your institutional goals. That's the difference for higher education and the general education. We have very specific national goals, basic competencies, subject specific objectives. Compared to the higher education, general education is bit we have framework, because this is general education. We have kind of rigidness in that sense. We call this, we are designing learning outcomes top to down. When we are teaching learning outcomes forward, design down, implement forward. Design down means we are writing learning outcomes, thinking about general national objectives and subject specific objectives, basic competencies. We have very nice national goals and basic competencies in general education. Very nice. Even we changed a bit for new 2030 reforms, but still we have very good objectives. So while you are having ICT specific learning objectives, we need to include some broader level learning outcomes, thinking about the national goals. That is design down. Implement forward is we are teaching ICT, thinking about sometimes, even though this particular student is struggling to understand ICT, but he's a good student. We need to implement in that way. Not should be the only one and only target about your subject specific learning outcomes. Yes, vision, mission, values, graduate profiles. Here we have a lot of things. And also we need to align properly these aspects. We have intended learning outcomes, teaching learning activities, and assessment tasks. We call this constructive alignment. We need to align these three aspects constructively. Intended learning outcomes are somewhere completely irrelevant to the lesson. Teaching learning activities are quite not relevant. Assessment is again completely another part. If you are doing this way, this is not the aligned teaching learning. This alignment, I think, very common word for us. Engine, the wheel alignment. After engine repairment, even after service, the people promote us to do the wheel alignment after the kind of even, in detail service. We have just oil change and so on, but sometimes we do like kind of in-depth services for our vehicles. After those change, the refilling some things, engine oil, and then, some repairment, like so then those people asking us to, sir, you should have to have wheel alignment. If you are going to implement your intended learning outcomes, you can't go only with the intended learning outcomes. People are alive there. They are looking at us. They are feeling something. So to reach the learning outcomes, we need to apply the activities. Otherwise, we can't see the changes of the behavior. So we need to align the teaching learning to the intended learning outcomes. And also, if you want to see the difference at the end, we need to assess, means you need to check, you need to get the feedback whether you are okay, whether you are feeling good, like that is assessment. Assessment also completely should be aligned the learning outcomes and the teaching learning activities. Okay, this is constructive alignment, we call. This is very important aspect in terms of teaching learning. Constructive learning. We can practice this way. So we discuss about the KSAM model, the other module. Okay, now maybe you are tired after 1.5 hours time. I would give you some time to have a discussion about just for a break, like, have a quick break within like 10 minutes. 10 minutes break, having tea or something, having water, and have a discussion about my explanation about this overall objective and the specific objectives of general education and higher education. You got the point? This is the break, like a break, but if you feel good, you can have a discussion with your members, like, what do you think about this? You can agree whether you agree with this overall objective and the specific objectives of teaching and learning, like, the declarative knowledge and the functional knowledge. So before get the skill how to write ILOs, we need to have a proper understanding why we need this, why we are practicing good student-centered teaching and learning activities. Okay, I think you got the point. So now I will, any clarification about the discussion? Are you okay? Now we have 16 people. Okay, we have 15 people now. Okay, so I will, any clarifications regarding the discussion? Any questions regarding my 1.5 hours presentation? Bit long. No, any clarifications, comments? Okay. I will, 3-4 participants, very, just 10 minutes. Objective is, what do you think about whether you got the point clearly? The difference of this overall objective entire education, even though it is vocational or primary or higher, the culminating objective is good citizen. We are trying to nurture good citizen. To do that, we have general education, national goals, basic competencies, subject-specific objectives. In higher education, Sri Lanka qualification framework, 12 categories of learning outcomes. Those are the specific things. So try to differentiate these objectives. In the classroom, based on these generic objectives, we are trying to design intended learning outcomes, ILOs. These ILOs should be a combination of generic and specific. Mainly specific, but sometimes we need to have a combination of generic even. You know, I think general education teachers very well know about the teacher guide objectives should be not only the cognitive, psychomotor, like, you know, and we need to give them like feelings in the classroom, collaborate at the end of the session. Students are expected to collaborate each other. So that is not the subject-specific learning outcomes. That is generic, thinking about the future citizens, because we are lacking, our people are lacking collaborative skills in this century. Yes. So that's the discussion. Have a very broad discussion. 10 minutes. I will open it. Okay. So please try to join. I will take some attendance based on your groups. Like, okay.
Deepan, Naresh. Hi, Pula.
Hi.
මොකද වෙන්නේ?
මොකද්ද කිව්වනේ කරන්න?
මටත් තේරුම් නැත්තේ
ඒත්
කිව්වේ.
මටත් කියන්න.
Then it is a success lecture. Success communication.
එහෙනම්
Broad goals. We have to discuss broad goal, entire goals. So say that a good citizen, like that.
Overall objectives of
මොකක්
education.
හරි ප්‍රශ්න කරන්න ඕනද?
No, we have to discuss only. I
Discuss.
think I have selected some national goals from my curriculum. If we can try to align that national curriculum to one end is broad goal, citizen, other end is the subject matters. We can align these things. I think this is we have to discuss.
Okay.
Overall objectives of education can create good citizen. Like question.
Yes. Now, in one curriculum, it says national goal like that. Let me find that.
Yes, national goal, and then basic competencies.
So it says national building and the establishment of Sri Lankan promotion of national choosing. That point of view, I think there's slightly difficult point.
Excuse me, Keith. Your voice is not clear.
Sorry, Naresh. I think we should find what is the quality of the good citizen. If it is a
Yes,
yes,
ethical
good
things.
citizen, හොඳ මිනිස්සෙක් කිව්වහම they should have some skills also, I think.
Yeah.
Society එකට හොඳ වෙන්නත් ඕනේ. Society එකට දෙයක් කරන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්නත් ඕනේ. That is my point.
And also education structure, we have to
I think
How to consider ethical things.
yeah, I think a good citizen have a good skill also.
Yes, that's why I'm going to tell you. Skillful people can do something better than others to the society.
And also living without disturbing others.
Yeah.
Am I correct?
Yes, that is also
Self-caring and self-motivations.
Yeah. Utpal, can you align this your thing with the that is a broad goal, right?
Yeah.
Yes. How we can align with how we can do using our teaching activities, like how we can align that to the national goals and the subjective goals. Can we do that? Or I can understand that. That's why I'm asking.
Yes, Keith. I think
So
when
we
we
can
get
do that. You said what අපිට ක්ලාස් එක ඇතුළේදී කරන්න පුළුවන් නේ ඇත්තටම එහෙම හොඳ මිනිස්සෙක් කියන එකේ qualities ටිකක් ඒ කියන්නේ ක්ලාස් එක ඇතුළේදී අපිට කතා කරන්න පුළුවන් don't disturb others, right? ඒක කතා කරන්න පුළුවන්. එතකොට ඒකද එහෙම නැත්නම් curriculum එකට align වෙනවයි කියලා කියන්නේ curriculum එක ඇතුලේ අපිට ඒක ටිකක් point එකක් තියෙනවද ඒක කරන්න activity එකක් හරි මොකක් හරි එහෙම එකක්. Is there anything? Stephen?
එහෙම ගන්න පුළුවන්.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Our vocational, I am a vocational education person.
Okay.
So vocational education have generated a skill for the person, particular person generate the skill, and he survey the any other field. He is a 6 month training OJT on the job training. They survey any other categories of department or private sector. They get a knowledge and experience in management level.
Okay.
Based on not only study level, then we get a knowledge overall. How to manage management level, how to time management.
Giving the industrial experience, no?
Yeah.
Is basic competencies. No? Yeah.
Yes, Stephen. My question is the broad goal is developing a good citizen, right?
Yeah.
Then,
Yes.
Your curriculum is help to that. Is there any point to do that? Can you explain? Yes, hidden thing is there, but I can't explain that, express that.
Keith, when we consider ours in IT field, can we get some ethical things when we use in the computer IT?
Very good point.
It's
Yes.
The national goal.
Yes. Naresh, we are teaching about ethics of IT.
Ethics.
Directly, it is related to the society. It means
It comes from national goals.
Yeah. Once they learn that things and they try to practice these things, ethical rules and regulations, so ethical something, they are not going to harm doing harmful things to the society, right? Then they could be they may be good people, good citizen. There is a point. Stephen?
Yeah.
What
Any
else?
inputs? Yeah, what else?
Sorry.
What else we can discuss about these things?
Yeah, these things it's very nice because they all people have a common sense and ethic.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
common sense. No? Any ideas?
Yes, I'm go through that national goals of the education, right? Just give couple of minutes.
She left.
Let's see. We have broad discussion.
පේන්නේ නැතුව ඉන්න පුළුවන්ද? එහෙම බෑ නේද?
බෑනේ. එහෙම නැත්නම් හරියටම ඈ. මේ මේක අස්සේ තේ එකක් එහෙම බොන්න කියලා කිව්වද?
කිව්වා.
එහෙනම් මට විනාඩියක් දෙන්න.
Steve ananga vidya.
Omo.
Naresh?
Omo. Time sorry.
Time is over, ne?
Yeah. We have only 50 seconds.
Okay. මට තේරෙන්නේ
Okay, welcome back. Yeah, I was with mostly with group 1 and group 2 also I had very limited time. I think Kirti nicely facilitated the discussion. Some members are completely silent, but you can explain what you have discussed. Kirti, you can very quickly please use 2-3 minutes and can you summarize what you discussed there?
Yes, we have discussed how we align the national goals and the broad goals and the subjective goals with our subjects. We have discussed that in as an example in we are teaching ethics, computer ethics or something. It is directly we can align to the broad goal called develop a good citizen. Our discussion was like that.
You ask one member whether we can have a room to incorporate that type of non-subject related learning outcomes, no?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So you got the solution for that. So you can do that, no?
Yes.
Yeah. You can do that because the actually group number 2 people mentioned that they have only ICT. Very good that I think most of the group like same. So they quickly referred to the teacher guide and tried to search whether how about the given learning outcomes. They found that they have only subject specific learning outcomes. But in the classroom, we can't survive only with the subject specific learning outcomes. Now, see my case. Now, I thought your responses were not to the expected level that I planned. So I changed my plan. So I now I will wind up the session after 10-15 minutes without having learning outcomes discussion, because this is we can't go only with the planned activities sometimes. I thought before starting designing learning outcomes, we should have a broad discussion about these objectives, like, so likewise, so now for my next lecture also, based on the impression of this lecture, I would incorporate one more generic level learning outcomes, right? So likewise, you have that flexibility. Even though you have only subject specific learning outcomes in the teacher guide, even in higher education, we have modules. We wrote the learning outcomes there. We need to incorporate kind of broader level learning outcomes as well. If the learning outcomes are subject specific, we can incorporate the teaching learning strategy. Like now you can see the breakout room discussion. We can tackle a lot of things. So I can listen to the group and I can see who are the people that got the point correctly and who are the people still struggling to understand. Likewise, so we can't go smoothly only with the subject level learning outcomes. So that is we call completely teacher centered, the lecture center. Now, giving the breakout room discussion, I found that only I visited 2 rooms, but you got the point correctly. Yeah, but some people are trying to understand. So the second group also we can. Thank you, Kirti. Now, second group, can we have something from your group? One person.
Yes, actually, we discussed about this. Initially, we discussed about the overall objective, and then we go through this SLQF document, and also Ishara go through that general education document, and we discuss about this specific, learning outcomes and those areas. and how we can apply those with our lessons.
Yeah, now SLQF higher education, we have very balanced model, KSAM model. Now, when you look at the KSAM, knowledge is there. This is subject specific. Skills, not only the subject specific. Punctuality, like, then one member, I think in your group, one member, I don't know, first or second group person said that in the vocational education, they have internships, like. So that through the internship, they will get a lot of exposure, like. Then we can have broader level good learning outcomes there as well. But we need to focus it, like, even for the internships, we should have learning outcomes. So KSAM model is A, attitudes, M, mindset. AM is completely other than the subject specific. So in terms of general education, we have national goals, basic competencies. When you are designing subject-specific learning outcomes from the teacher guide, you need to think about the kind of combination. So we need ICT skilled people, but good citizens. If the ICT people won't be able to apply for the general people, like your ICT programs are not very people friendly, so you need to create a people friendly or student friendly ICT tool. You need to understand the nature of the society, like, so that's why we need that aspect as well. Not only the very good ICT module won't work, no? Yeah. So likewise, that's the point. I think you got the point. Unfortunately, I was unable to visit other two groups. Any contributions from other two groups to be discussed, or any different perspectives or any clarifications from other two groups? Okay, then I think I will upload the PowerPoint study slides after this session. You can go through it, but we can start from the middle of this lecture 3 PowerPoint slides. But anyway, I will upload the slides to the Google Classroom. If we can create the LMS, even we can upload the slides to the LMS as well. The next discussion would be based on this idea. We are going to get the skill, what is Bloom's taxonomy, and how to write the learning outcomes in line with the revised Bloom's taxonomy. Meanwhile, thinking about your own practicum, if you have any particular lesson plan format for you, please try to prepare with that lesson plan. Actually, last batch I introduced 3 types of formats. Then they selected one and they developed different kind of online friendly, because at that time we had only the online mode, no. So then we developed specific lesson plan format. But now you have started physical sessions, no. So please try to prepare with you good lesson plan format. We have a lot of, even Peradeniya, we have one module for higher education. We have C1 format Peradeniya. But other than that, we found web-generated very quite effective formats. Then we downloaded those formats and we changed, like to fit the classrooms. Well, think about a format next time. So I want you to prepare a lesson plan very quickly, maybe next week, and then try to start the practicum. Okay, before wind up, any questions, clarifications? Please give me some time to write down the names. Okay, I will. I have some records. May you did a presentation? No. Okay, that. Yeah, I have that records, and I will take the attendance today for that particular people. Today is 20th. Mohammed Rizkan.
Yes, sir.
And we have Chaturika Milan? No. Doreen, Krista, are you there? I saw you are here. You were here, but I don't. No? Doreen, Fatima, Safina. No, Hansika Pereira is there, no?
Yes, sir.
And Indika is there, no?
Yes, sir.
Kirti is there. Ishara Mihiranga. You were there, no? Ishara Mihiranga. No? Still there, but I don't know. Madhushani.
Yes, sir.
Maria.
Yes, sir.
Mayuri, Madhavi,
Yes, sir.
and Naresh.
Yes, sir, I'm here.
You are silent completely, the group one discussion.
No, sir, I was discussed.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good.
I have noted down some points.
Okay, good. Please try to, especially we need full participation, like Nishant is
Yes,
there.
sir, sure. Thank you.
Chami De Silva
Yes, sir.
and Deepan was there.
Yes, sir.
Uttara is also there.
Yes, sir.
And can you tell me other names that I didn't ask?
Excuse me, sir. Janaka Tenho.
Okay, Janaka.
මොනවද වෙන්න ඕන කියන්නේ? කොහෙද ඔස්ට්‍රේලියානු ගාලේද?
Any other names that I didn't raise?
ඕන කියන්නේ?
Kandamali.
Okay, any other names? That's Sandamali, okay. I got.
Sir, Ishara Mihiranga.
Now you are here. No? Yeah, okay. Right. Okay? Okay then. See you next week. Thank you, Nishant, reminding please the time. Yeah, thank you. If possible, you can do as the same you did this morning. Okay.
All right.
Thank you. Then see you next week.
Thank you, sir. Bye.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Enst Nishantha Mobitel.
මචං කෙලවෙනවා ආවේ නැද්ද උඹලා ඒකට උඹ කියන්නේ අම්මට සිරි අපේ එක ඇවිල්ලා එනකොටම දැක්ක හරිද එනකොටම දැක්ක ගමන් පටන් ගත්තා හරිද සිංහලෙනුයි ඉංග්‍රීසියෙනුයි මරා ගත්තා ඔව් වන් හින්දි හිටපු කෙනෙක් අපි හිටියේ මමයි උත්පලයි දීපනුයි මේ නරේෂුයි ඒකෙත් වෙලා මචං නරේෂ ඇත්තටම කතා කළා නැත්තේ නැහැ මේ ලොක්කට එක නෝටිස් වෙලා නැහැ මේ ඊට පස්සේ දැන් මචං මූ යන්නේ නැහැ ඉතින් යනකම්ම මොනවා හරි කියෝ හිටියා එන්න වෙලාවක් හිටිය බං වෙනකට ආවා ගියානේ අම්මා අයිඩිය එකක් නෑ මචං ඕ ඇත්තටම මේ එහෙම අයිඩිය එකක් අපි ඕක ගැන කතා කර හිටියේ හරිද හතර දෙනාව දන්නේ නැහැ මචං දැන් මොකක්ද කරන්න කියලා හරි ඊට පස්සේ මම ගියා එහෙනම් that is the best lecture we had අපි එකෙක්වත් දන්නේ නැත්තම් කියනකොටම ඌ ආවා මචං හරිද හොඳ වෙලාවට දැක්ක නැත්තම් අපි දෙනව නැත්ත නැති වෙන්නේ මට එක දවසක් ඕක වුණා මේ කවුද මේ ශාමි හරි කවුරු හරි ඉඳලා එක පාරට පටන් ගත්ත මචං බස ගාලා කියවන්න ටිකක් මේ ඊට පස්සේ බලද්දි වෙන්න මූ ඇවිල්ලා එදා තමයි ශාමි ගියාට පස්සේ කිව්වේ මම දැක්කා එනවා ආපුවම මම පටන් ගත්තා කියලා දැක්ක එක වැඩේ පටන් ගත්තා නම් ගොඩ ඉතින් නැත්තම් ඉවරයි එනවා සහ මචං නිකන් මේ ඕ සහ මේ ඒ 1 2 3 4 කොහමද හොයාගන්නේ දැන් අපිටත් පේනවද ඒක 1ද 2ද කියලා පේන්නේ රයිට් එතනින් තමයි බලා ගන්න ඕනේ නේද අනේ මේ ඒ ඇත්තටම මමත් හිතාගෙන හිටියේ ටී බ්‍රේක් එකක් දෙනවයි කියලා. මෙන්න නැගිටින්න හදන රූප් එකකට වැටෙනවා. කෝකටත් මම බලාගෙන හිටියා බලාගෙන ඉඳලා මෝ ලීව් වුණාට පස්සේ මං කිව්වා දැන් මේ ඒකක් එහෙමත් බොන්න කිව්වා නේද මම යනවා කියලා එහෙම ගියා. ඔව්. මේ උඹ ඇත්තට නෑ නේද?